The Delhi Rouse Avenue Court has said that the ED has failed to provide any direct evidence linking Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal to the proceeds of crime in the Delhi excise policy case. News9 has accessed the bail order which lists out certain details. For more on this, I am being joined by my colleague Ashok Bagria, who is the legal editor of News9, to weigh in on what exactly is the court saying. And for those who've just joined us, the Rouse Avenue Court, of course, has said that the ED has failed to provide any kind of a direct evidence linking Chief Minister of Delhi Arvind Kejriwal to the proceeds of crime in the Delhi excise policy case. Now, News9 has accessed the bail order which lists out all the details on which my colleague, legal editor of News9, Ashok Bagria, will weigh in. On your screens right now, the ED has failed Delhi court's test. Delhi court says that the ED is biased. ED is working in a biased fashion. That's what the court is saying. Very, very serious allegations there. Let me now go across to Ashok Bagria for more on this. Ashok, thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Ashok, seems at the first, look that this is kind of getting very, very serious, because it seems to be the court seems to be training its guns on the ED.
Well, yes, Sudha. In fact, this particular order, which was pronounced by the lower court yesterday in the open courtroom, the written order is now available with us. Now, there are very scathing remarks that the lower court has made against the Enforcement Directorate while releasing Arvind Kejriwal on bail. So, first of all, the first thing that the court says is that it has heard extensive arguments by both sides, by Kejriwal's lawyers as well as the Enforcement Directorate. And in its conclusion, the court says that the ED has not produced an iota of evidence that links Arvind Kejriwal to the Delhi liquor scam. Now, what is interesting here is that the ED has all along claimed that Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin of this Delhi liquor policy scam. The other thing that the court has done is that the court has said that it looks from the records that have been made available before the court that it is not acting without bias. So, it's a negative statement, but to put it positively, the court is saying that the ED is apparently acting with bias in this particular case. And then the court also goes on to quote Benjamin Franklin, where it says that it's better that 100 guilty persons should escape than an innocent person should suffer. Now, this quote by Benjamin Franklin actually follows a conclusion of the court where it is said, where the court comes to a conclusion that the Enforcement Directorate investigation has not conclusively or in a prima facie manner been able to prove that Arvind Kejriwal is one of the guilty persons in this offence. And moreover, the court has also rejected the argument of the Enforcement Directorate, where they had said that approximately 100 crores of money was paid as kickbacks to the Aam Aadmi Party, and the investigation has been able to track or trace 40 crore rupees, and 60 crore is yet to be traced. But when the court asked the Enforcement Directorate that as to how long will they take to trace this remaining 60 crore, which they claim are a part of the kickbacks that were received by the Aam Aadmi Party, the ED was not able to give an answer, and the court comes to a conclusion saying that the exercise of tracing out the remaining amount gets completed by ED. Until that gets completed by the ED, the accused is supposed to remain behind the bars, that too without proper evidence against him. And this is not an acceptable argument of the Enforcement Directorate. In fact, the court also says that there is no evidence that the ED has been able to provide that the proceeds of crimes were utilized by the Aam Aadmi Party in the Goa elections, and the court says that the ED is silent about the facts as to how the proceeds of crime have been utilized in the assembly elections at Goa by the Aam Aadmi Party, admittedly 2 years back. Now, besides that, there is another conclusion that has been drawn by the court saying that ED has been constantly harping on the fact that Vijay Nair, one of the accused in this case, is a close associate of Arvind Kejriwal and was directly working under the instructions of Kejriwal. So the court is also rejecting this argument, saying that there is nothing on record to show that Vijay Nair was acting under the instructions of Arvind Kejriwal. Now, this is what the lower court has come to a conclusion, ordered or directed the release of Arvind Kejriwal on bail on the payment of surety of 1 lakh rupees. Moreover, the court has also put a bail condition that Arvind Kejriwal will not leave the country without the permission of the court, will not tamper with evidence or try to influence the witnesses. Now, these are very conventional bail conditions that have been imposed. But what is more interesting is, Sudha, that the Enforcement Directorate has now rushed to the Delhi High Court and the ED is directly hitting out at the lower court judge, saying that this bail order which has been granted to Arvind Kejriwal has been done in hot haste and the ED was not given an adequate opportunity to oppose the bail.
Ashok, thank you for all the details, but I want to ask you one thing, is that throughout this, Kejriwal had said, where is the money trail? Prove it if there is a money trail. Now, what the lower court has done is turned the entire argument on its head, as it were. It's unraveling little bits which actually attacks the ED, and like you said, the ED is rushing now to the High Court. So is it that, if there is no money trail, you said while you were explaining this, that you also quoted Benjamin Franklin as quoted by the lower court, that to keep an innocent man, is a complete no-no. So tell me something, under the ED thing, can I go to jail even if the crime has not been proven against me? Because it happened with Senthil Balaji in Tamil Nadu as well. There have been lots of cases like that. They come, they nab you, they put you in jail. So explain that bit for the viewers.
Okay. So now, as far as this particular Delhi liquor policy scam is concerned, Arvind Kejriwal is basically being prosecuted under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, this is a special act, and this special act rather has a overturning effect or impact on all other prevailing laws. So this is the principal law, and the provisions of this law will have an overriding effect on the Criminal Procedure Code or the Indian Penal Code. Now, here, in this case, the submission of the Enforcement Directorate is very simple, that we got to know that this liquor policy scam happened in Delhi. We are in the process of investigation. We have arrested a few people who have pointed fingers to the Aam Aadmi Party National Convener and Delhi Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and the proceeds of the crime, that is the alleged kickbacks of 100 crores that was paid by the Southern Lobby to the Aam Aadmi Party, was used in Goa elections. Now, this is the story that has been floated by the Enforcement Directorate to prove its case against Arvind Kejriwal and other people who are accused in this case.
On that note, Ashok Bagria, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast and explaining what the lower court said, the statements that was made towards the Enforcement Directorate or ED. Let's listen into some reactions and then we get back to the bulletin, and I bring you the latest on the NEET controversy.
एक अपराधी अरविंद केजरीवाल, जांच एजेंसी और माननीय कोर्ट, इन तीनों लोगों के बीच में सुनवाई चल रही है, मामला चल रहा है। कल जब एक कोर्ट उनको बेल देती है तो ये लिखते हैं सत्यमेव जयते, और आज अगर एक कोर्ट स्टे दे रही है तो इनको कानून बुरा लग रहा है। इन लोगों को ये समझना चाहिए कि शराब नीति में एक बड़ा घोटाला हुआ है। खुद न्यायालय कई बार इस बात को कह चुका है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल का इसमें भूमिका है। अरविंद केजरीवाल पूरे शराब नीति घोटाले के सूत्रधार हैं। तो जब इस तरह के आरोप लगते हैं तो जांच एजेंसी अपना काम कर रही है और न्यायालय ने निर्णय देना है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जेल भी न्यायालय के निर्णय से गए थे और बाहर जब भी आएंगे तो न्यायालय के निर्णय से आएंगे। तो ये मुझे लगता है जांच एजेंसी और न्यायालय को छोड़ देना चाहिए।